Good morning. Set the show for 8:30, and I don't know. Didn't quite get here on time. But I'll tell you what is on time is the wonderful smelling pumpkin spice I am brewing. I use some Christmas themed water cup. Christmas themed candle. Maybe bring my baby Jesus along. He's not baby Jesus, Ken, he's little Jesus. I need to find my slippers. Oh, they're there by the door. It's a little chilly. It's not really chilly, but I don't know, my feet are just a tad chilly. And why have your feet a tad chilly if you don't need to? Show you what we're looking at outside. It looks like it should be snowing. I think it's like 11 degrees out there. And looks ripe for snow, but I don't think we're supposed to get any just till a little bit later today. We shall see. So let's see, am I set up right? Yeah, let's turn on this light. Yeah, let's turn on that light. Let's use my old Coffee with Ken mug. I hit 10,000 subscribers the other day. Kind of feel like I achieved and accomplished everything I really wanted to. So, I don't know, kind of lowered my guard, if you will, a little bit, if that makes any sense. Maybe feel content that I achieved what I wanted out of this show. I've talked about sobriety and faith and financial highs and lows and divorces. Nearly, is the term ad nauseum? I'm not sure, but I've sure done a lot of talking about those subjects. So wondering if there's really anything left I need to talk about. I'm not sure there is, but either way. My lighter struggles a little bit, this fancy little lighter that somebody sent me. When there's a big, thick ash on my wick, doesn't light right up. It prefers a virginal wick with which to light. But good morning, good morning, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. Still got a little bit of a head cold. I think I'm feeling fairly fine, but I'm not totally 100%. I'd like it to be gone, but just because we like things to be a certain way doesn't magically make things be a certain way. You know what I mean? But anyway, again, it is Friday morning, and this is Coffee with Ken. My name's Ken Tracy. Coffee with Ken is a show I have done for quite some time. It is a show about me talking. It is a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life, kind of sharing the adventure of one man's life. But for those that have been watching a while, You know, it's not just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, you know, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, with that in mind, good morning, Richard Sternicle. It is a late start today. Slept in a few days this week. Between Thanksgiving, my cold, and my work schedule the last several days, I have not had a lot of up and at 'em energy left over. And today, I don't work till like 4 o'clock this afternoon. And I know there's various things I'd like to accomplish, one of which is a workout, which I haven't worked out in almost a week and a half. And again, I'm not sure I have all my energy and enthusiasm in place to make it to the gym, but I will. I will. It doesn't need to be in place at this moment. And even push come to shove, I probably, if I wasn't about to do a glorious talk show for you folks, I would probably head off to the, be okay heading off to the gym. So again, I forget where I am. I got so sidetracked on my intro. I forget where I am. How did I not get a leading role in various musicals as a child? I was always a backup. I was always a backup. But anyway, for those who've been watching, well, as I was saying, you know it's not just a show about me talking. You know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me, and I'm excited to have my first sip. Cheers to us. Again, I was laying in bed with all these thoughts going on, and beat them back with a quick little prayer, and then thought, pumpkin spice. Made me feel good, like a miracle cure. It's not really a miracle cure, but it's a darn nice cup of coffee. So I'm gonna have another sip. Wonder what you guys are drinking at home. If you guys, cheers, Susan. If you guys are drinking coffee or having orange juice or in your car on the way to work or maybe at work or at home, or wonder where you guys are all sitting. I wonder if there's any of you that have a little Jesus with you or have a candle lit. I wonder if I could look at you and see what you guys were doing and just get little boxes. I guess I have 17 people watching right now, have little boxes on my phone, and see Rich Sternicle and see Susan and Nathan and Peter. Peter wondering what my favorite food is. Typing, why won't he answer me? What's his favorite food? Peter, it's gotta be lasagna. It's gotta be lasagna. With a lot of cheese and a lot of sauce and more cheese and meat in there as well. Oh yeah. Somebody is at the Panasonic, Nathan is at the Panasonic spaceship in DeSoto. I don't know what that means at all. The Panasonic spaceship. And I don't know where DeSoto is. It sounds like it might be in Florida. I could be wrong. Susan is eating fruit and yogurt with nuts and seeds and other good stuff. Susan, you sound like you would be a very healthy person to spend time with. Donkey Puncher, which is a strange name, really likes a fresh pack of coffee filters. So crisp and satisfying. I mean, I get that a little bit, but the thing with coffee filters, you buy them and they last for so long. They are one of the best values in retail, the coffee filter. So necessary, so important, and so cheap. If you're hurting for money and it's on your list, it's always kind of a relief going to get coffee filters. You know, you buy ground beef, you're spending $6 a pound or something like that. You buy coffee filters, you're getting like 500 for $3 or something crazy. If I get jacked, women would be all over me. They love big bald men. I mean, okay, for the record, are you a woman? You're probably not even a woman. So often we get perspectives from people, you know, like somebody, and I'm betting it's a guy, said, if you get jacked, women would be all over you because they love big bald men. I don't hear women saying they love big bald men. So I'm not going to really necessarily believe you. How old am I? Wait, hold on. Somebody's giving me a biblical quote. Ezekiel. Wait, and then he put it all in parentheses. Hold on here. You use parentheses, but you never ended the parentheses. I'll try and translate. Ezekiel said, the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, there were two women, daughters of the same mother, who committed adultery. I don't know what that means. I'll often get some biblical verses quoted to me. I am reading the Bible after all. It was a hard reading last night. But that, is it a passage from the Bible? Doesn't make any sense to me, really. And what makes less sense is why you would cite that passage of the Bible to me. Quran comes from India, land of Buddha. Well, welcome, Quran. How are you? Welcome to you from the land of Buddha. What kind of coffee am I sipping on? I am sipping on the Starbucks Sumatra, the pumpkin spice. Do you want to know something I'm a little ashamed of? I'm not a little ashamed of. Do you see what this is up there? That's an open cabinet. I always leave that cabinet door open. I'm trying to be better about not worrying about things. But I looked up because somebody talked about fresh coffee filters. I wonder how much that would excite them. But I haven't even bought coffee filters in, I don't know, at least 2 months, I think. I don't remember the last time I bought them. Must have bought a big pack because there's still a ton left. Yeah, Susan, that would bug you, Susan, and you even eat yogurt with nuts and seeds and granola and fruit. And that would bother you too. So it's not just me that lets things bother them. It's even healthy eaters like Susan. Mike is sipping on some blueberry coffee and believes it's better than I think. Yeah, I don't think blueberry coffee sounds really great. Jane is having cinnamon vanilla coffee, which sounds lovely. Peter wants to know how the substitute teaching is going. I haven't done it for this week. I haven't done it since last Monday. We had Thanksgiving break. I was sick on Monday and I've worked every day this week. So I haven't been able to. somebody who likes Walmart brand. What is the coffee that gets... I don't know what you're talking about, Nathan. That sounds yucky. Susan wouldn't get up right now because you're eating. Okay, but Susan, if you were sipping a cup of coffee, would you get up? Or would you be better off just getting up and shutting the cabinet? Or would you be better off ignoring the cabinet or doing your best to ignore the cabinet, but kind of distracted from your yogurt and seeds that you're dining on because the cabinet's open? Well, there's a coffee in Hawaii that comes from, I don't know, Nathan. Just because it's American made and it's super expensive, it still sounds very unappealing to me. And when you say it was regurgitated, okay, here's the type of coffee Nathan was saying. He said it was regurgitated by animals. Are you talking like the coffee beans themselves were regurgitated by animals? Which doesn't sound very appealing. Or the coffee is just some fluid that's coming out of the belly of some animal. Neither sounds appealing, but the latter sounds far less appealing. What's appealing to me? Indian women with British accents, generally blondes, 5'4" to 5'7", a big smile, friendly eyes, lasagna, steak, a fireplace, my plants, the sounds of my children laughing and kicking balloons around or saying wee as they go down the slide, cuddling with my son Augie on the couch, getting any call or FaceTime or text from my older girls. Those things all sound appealing. Good morning, Narinder. All right. Luwak coffee. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't... Just because an animal pooped out the coffee bean doesn't make me especially excited to eat it. Believe it or not, the thought of an animal pooping out a coffee bean and making coffee of it, I don't know, for some crazy reason doesn't seem appealing to me. Good morning from England, Scarlett. How are you today? Oh, my old cat chart is saying 57. 57. Oh. So, it's Friday morning. It's Friday morning. It's 8:49. Again, I've got a series. Oh, did I ever tell you guys? About 2.5 months ago, I applied for some job. My name's Ken Tracy again. I moved to Appleton, Wisconsin in February. I was a realtor for 17 years and left that about 3 years ago at 53, not really having a clue what I was going to do for financial stability or as a career when I grew up. And over the last 3 years, it's been very interesting. And I've done a bunch of different things, and I'm currently working as a substitute teacher somewhere in the area, and at 2 restaurants as a bartender and waiter. But anyway, a few months ago, I was applying to a job. I don't even remember what the job was, to be honest with you. I don't even know if the job had driving involved. But either way, they required a Wisconsin driver's license. It might have been with like UPS or something, or FedEx, or It might have been a driving involved, so I don't blame him for needing a state area with driver's license if that's what it was. I don't blame him either way. But I needed to go get a driver's license from Wisconsin. I'd spent my whole life living in Illinois pretty much. And I went into the DMV. By the way, there was no line and I got right up. That made me feel good about the Wisconsin DMV, but that's a distraction. They needed paperwork that I did not have. They needed a legitimate birth certificate, not a copy of one, but a certified one, along with various other documentation showing your address and what have you. So I go, all right, one bite at a time, one bite at a time. And I think the process for even applying for this job took several steps. And this, again, this was like 10 weeks ago. And I go, well, I guess I'm gonna have to get a certified birth certificate. How am I gonna go about doing that? Where do I get that answer? I go to ChatGPT, of course, and it told me how to do it. You have to send a letter or fill out an application and send it to Springfield, Illinois, which is the home of records in Illinois, the capital of the state as well. And it said, thank you, send them a check. It was kind of funny because I actually sent it. I got an envelope, I addressed the envelope, I filled out the application, I put in a check for like $15 and sent it in the mail. I didn't have a ton of faith that it would all get there. But either way, after I did that, it said it'll take 12 weeks to get a copy, or not a copy, a certified birth certificate back. Oh, I'll have you know, about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago now, I got my birth certificate back. So one of the things on my list to do today would be to go get a Wisconsin driver's license. I've been kind of sick the last week and a half. I still might have slightly tired eyes. I don't know if I'd be pretty enough today to go take a picture. It's December. Where's my tan? I look white and sickly and tired in the driver's license. This is how I look in the driver's license picture in Wisconsin. So if a cop pulls me over, he's gonna go, what the hell is wrong with you? Holy crap, I can't give this guy a ticket. He looks so damn sickly. I feel sorry for him. Wonder if whatever he has is catching. I better get away. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and they got loaded up with vaccines. They took the flu shot and the COVID vaccine and whatever other shots and vaccines and preventative measures one might take that does those sort of things. And they were very sick. I think in my life I've gotten the flu vaccine once, and it doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense to me when you really don't struggle. Maybe if you have like immune deficiencies and like getting the flu could be fatal to you or something like that. I don't even know what the flu is exactly. I'll get a cold once a year or something like that, and once every 5 or 10 years I'll get a bad case of strep throat. But I just can't see getting shots, which are really just injecting you low doses of what you're trying to avoid into your body to fix you, or as a prevention, especially after talking to my friend, hearing that they sounded very sick. Narinder, my favorite Indian woman with a British accent, asked, if you get a driver's license in the United States, do you get one that covers the whole country, or do you get one for each state? And Narendra, each state has their own driver's license. And again, I came up from Illinois back in February. I was probably supposed to get one sooner. And then when I applied for it, or tried to apply for it, and they told me I'd take 12 weeks to get the required paperwork sent back to me, I knew I wasn't going to get the driver's license on time. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to get a Wisconsin state driver's license. I bet you they only do that to raise revenue for the states. Maybe there's different laws. And again, I'm more of a states. Again, it seems so Revolutionary War discussing big federal government or state governments. I think I kind of like the idea of laws being made at the state level. You haven't, Susan hasn't gotten shots in over 30 years. Yeah, no, it's been a long time for me, Susan. Am I a Lakers fan? No. Good morning, Schlevel Knievel. We have a glorious audience today. Good morning, hip hop. How are you? Let's see. What are we doing? Somebody wants to ask. How was my morning? My morning's lovely. Follow the rules, Ken, says somebody. What rules are we even talking about? State license? Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm probably going to go to the DMV today. You know how exciting that is? Actually, it's a little bit exciting. Because again, there was no line at the DMV the other day, 2 or 3 months ago when I was there last. Yeah. Hello, Angela. How are you? I'm going to get a little more coffee. You want to come with? Won't that be fun? Let's go. It's a pretty glorious audience this morning. Again, I got a late start today and wasn't sure if anyone was going to hop on. Wasn't really sure. I think when I'm maybe most stressed, I need this show the most, but I haven't felt the most stressed over the last few weeks. So I'm just kind of doing it for fun. Just kind of doing it for fun. James gets shots every year and has never gotten sick. Huh. Did I manage to find a gong? Yes, I did find a gong. I haven't used it in probably 2 weeks. I didn't only find a gong. I had a gong delivered to me. Was sent by a viewer, and it arrived, the miracle of Amazon. Okay, I'll bring it out, but I'm not bringing it out as like part of the gong show. Do you see it over there? You see it over there? You want to see what's over here? I'll show you some things that's over here. How I decorate my apartment. First of all, and this is backwards because we're doing it live. This says, a day without coffee is like, just kidding, I have no idea. Put this back. This one was bought for me by my second wife, said, Dad, a daughter's first love. And I think that's kind of sweet. It was, I think it was before I had my daughter with my second ex-wife. It was given to me probably on Father's Day from her, just to make me feel warm, fuzzy things about my 2 older girls. And I think warm, fuzzy things about my 2 older girls. And then here is the gong. And in case you're wondering, here's little Jesus. He's not really relevant to the conversation, but anytime you think of little Jesus, it's probably a good thing. I'm back. I got my coffee. I even had my gong. Somebody called me Johnny Sins. I haven't heard enough about the Johnny Sins lately, so I appreciate you saying that. Lisa has never had a flu shot and never will. Yeah, no, Lisa, I don't see any real reason. I don't even totally, again, know what the flu is. I've never had a COVID vaccine. I was one of those. I was one of those that was hiding, wondering if the government was going to kick in the door and arrest me for not having a COVID vaccine. I might have been a science denier. I might have been one of those that was labeled, oh, I don't care about other people because I didn't get my COVID shot. Ugh, that was an ugly time. I wonder if that was an ugly time around the world. I think it probably was an ugly time around the world, but it certainly was an ugly time here in the United States. And it felt dangerous. It felt dangerous. Somebody said Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, slightly untanned. Well, I appreciate that. Again, a bald, muscly man. So, yeah. There's a bad flu in Britain at the moment, probably just COVID. I'm like many people here, 0 shots. Narinder, no COVID shots. Susan, it was a time for me. I just stayed home and like I always do, no fear. It was a fine time for you, Susan, during COVID. You couldn't go to the store hardly. They didn't let you out of the house. Unless you were an essential worker. They shut down playgrounds. Fun was not, the news was overtaking the world. My coffee shops were closed. You know, I thought it was a dark time. So Schliebel wishes she never did get the shot. Yeah, no, I feel safer without having that shot put in me. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that because it'll probably get me all fired up. Maybe we should clear the energy with a little gong. I was going to get this gong to get rid of people that I didn't like who were on my show, but I think they liked probably the attention it gave them, and I don't want to give them any attention. So now if I don't like somebody on my show, I just remove them. People always say, oh, why do you care what they say? I was doing a video. I did a video the other day where I interviewed a couple young women that worked for a place called Harbor House, and it's a shelter for domestic abuse victims. They say men and women, but you know, I'm sure most of the people that go in there are women. And what is neat to me is a couple levels that if you're in trouble and need a place to go and don't feel safe, you can go there and, I don't know, walk right in. And if there's room, they will put you in a room and feed you. And it makes me feel good knowing that there's a place that somebody in need can go to in a time of need, especially somebody with little kids. So just having it out there makes me feel good. But either way, I interviewed 2 ladies and was introduced to it. It's called Harbor House, and it's here in Appleton, and they seem to do a lot of good. But there was people hopping on saying negative things on my video, and I just didn't want to I don't want to distract the message of whatever video I am with people saying bad things. So I just rather remove them rather than ignore them, if that makes sense. So my gong is no longer to remove people, but perhaps we can use it to clear the energy. I don't even know what that means. Do you gong on the front of the gong, the part that's kind of bowed out, or on the back? But either way, we'll find out. That wasn't a very pure hit. Now we'll try a back gong. I'd say the back gong works every bit as well, and that's what my gong sounds like. Well, you're welcome, Susan. Do you feel the energy has been cleared? Do you feel at peace? Somebody with the name Kurt Cobain just got on. Person with the name Kurt Cobain, I need to know, were you alive while Kurt Cobain was alive? I mean, I don't need to know. If I needed to know, I would be giving the person named Kurt Cobain too much power. But I'm curious to know, are you old enough? Were you around when Kurt Cobain was ever? Are you 30 years old or older? Oh. Because again, I see all these little kids wearing Nirvana shirts these days, and it kind of makes me laugh. Do you ever wonder, as humans, what we were created for? What is our objective in life? As an aspiring Christian, I would say, to get closer to God. As a person that's on my personal journey and maybe isn't there yet, I would say just to see what we can do with our lives. And that I'd leave up to the individual in terms of what they value. You know, to some people, meditating 5 hours a day is the best use of their time. But to me, I don't see doing that or think I'd enjoy it, but maybe my life would be more peaceful if I could. I think striving for contentment and loving who we are today whilst hoping to be a little better tomorrow. The Quran says we were created to worship the Almighty. Well, that's very similar to what the Bible would say. And no, I'm not going to put as a goal to read the Quran. I'm struggling reading through the Bible. People will ask me, am I going to read the Quran? That'd be like being on base camp. Look of Everest and having somebody ask me if I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro next. Kurt Cobain wants to know if I'm a born-again Christian. Kurt Cobain, I'm not answering you. I asked you a question and you did not answer back. You get no questions answered from me because you didn't tell me if you were alive while Kurt Cobain was. My suspicion says you were not. Hello, Brian. How are you? How are you? Da, da, da. Well, I understand that you are alive, Kurt Cobain, because you are typing. But were you alive while the real Kurt Cobain was? Oh, look at Brian. He hops on. Only with the mission to spread coffee with Ken. Did you ever get the Santa suit that you were dreaming of? His and Her Landscaping? And I bet you the guys that make that have the Santa business are the guys that have the full beard year round. You got to really embrace the part to be a Santa business. Have I heard about the 15-year car loan? No, but honestly, on my car, which I bought just over a year ago, I did a 6-year car loan. And obviously, the longer you stretch it out, the more interest they're going to charge you, and probably the more likelihood you'll overspend. Because we could all be driving around in Ferraris with a 15-year car loan, perhaps. And that's not a good idea. We were created as a story from God so He could carry out our redemptions. Oh. Duquesne Dukes. Somebody thinks His and Her Landscaping says you can't believe it. What can't you believe? But it's real. His and Her Landscaping, I don't know what you're referring to when you say it's real or that you can't believe it. Somebody wonders why I'm wearing a Duquesne Dukes. They actually weren't wondering why I was wearing a Duquesne Dukes shirt. They were assuming I was in Pittsburgh. I've actually never been to Pittsburgh. I bet it's a fairly decent town. Site of Fort Duquesne, a fort that George Washington, when he was working for the British, attacked back in the 1750s, I believe. Now Duquesne University, yes. Oh no, but I had viewers from my show that coached on Instagram. They still might watch, I don't know, but they were coaches for the Duquesne Dukes. And they would sit around in their office. I think it was back in a time when I used to go live on Instagram. I was alternating maybe between TikTok and Instagram, going live to see which was the best platform. And here I am on YouTube. I decided a different platform was better. But anyway, I had the coaches, or the assistant coaches of the Duquesne Dukes, listening to my show as they were getting ready for their day in their office. And I went to one of their games, and I sat in the front row. It was kind of cool. And they gave me this shirt and another shirt. So now I wear it, and I think people think I'm probably pretty good at basketball because I'm wearing like a college basketball shirt, and I'm fairly tall. I'm not good at basketball. Jim Rat, we do have a glorious audience today. Somebody says they're planning to retire to Appleton in 4 years. You're from the near west suburbs of Chicago. You're looking forward to it. Well, that's a very specific place. I wonder why you're going to be retiring to Appleton. It'd be interesting to talk about that. I think it's a really nice town. The cost of living's a lot lower here, so that's a plus. I think you get a little bit of nature and a little bit of city kind of combined in one. There's a lot I like about Appleton, but I'd be curious as to what would drive you from the Chicago suburbs to want to retire here. Oh, you're living in LA. Oh, that's, oh. Schlevel, always with something interesting, says, it's the right combo of busy and boring. Yeah, perhaps, but I don't think they put that on the logo of the city. A perfect, just the right combination of busy and boring. You're driving in. Welcome to Appleton, home of Harry Houdini and Willem Dafoe. Just the right combination of busy and boring. Am I retired? No, I'm not even slightly retired. I'm not even slightly retired. I get to work today. I got to work yesterday, and the day before, and the day before, and I don't know the next day I'm not working. Again, I was a realtor for a long time, and I did fairly okay, but I'm telling you, if anyone wants to retire early, getting divorced is expensive. Getting divorced twice and having kids with 2 ex-wives, although the coolest thing I've ever done is have kids. So as painful as divorce can be, and as much harm and as expensive as it is, I wouldn't, take back having my beautiful children. So it's kind of a weird feeling, because there can be a lot of bitterness associated with divorce, and it'd be easy to wish all those feelings away. But again, without that, I wouldn't have my 4 beautiful kids. You should have been in marketing, Schlevel. You're a natural. You're just crazy enough to come up with these kind of fun ideas. Oh. What do I do for a living right now? Well, Tanner, I don't know if it's Tanner. What do I do? Oh, I work at 3 different jobs. I'm a waiter at 2 places and a bartender at one of those as well. And I also substitute teach. We have a viewer that said, I'm going to change what he said. And I heard it as a joke going through my first divorce to a neighbor. And he goes, why do divorces cost so much? Because they're worth it. It's kind of a sick joke, I think, but it's kind of funny. Makes you chuckle. Yeah, I don't know what the solution is for divorce or for bad relationships. For me, I just opted out of romance. And I don't know that's a solution. And in your 20s, I think the desire to procreate is such a strong driver to find a mate and get married. And I'd still like some companionship, probably. But I'm not desperate for it. And I know earlier in my life I was desperate to find a woman, if you will. Having a teacher that also is a YouTuber sounds pretty awesome. So far, I've only substituted 3 days, and they were all little kids that probably don't know what YouTube is. But I will tell you what they did know. They did know 57. They asked, how old are you? And I'd say, 57. And they go, what did he say? He said 67. So to combat their joy of saying 67, and every school I went to did it, I'd say 57, and that would really annoy the heck out of them. And Susan, I see it and work with yogurt eating Susan. She goes, it's 6-7. But it can be anything you want. And for anybody that's trying to annoy you by saying 6-7, you can say 5-7, and that'll get them. That'll frustrate the heck out of them. So it was me battling with a whole school full of elementary kids, bunch of 5-6-year-olds, and me going 5-7, and they're going, no, it's 6-7, Mr. D, it's 6-7. Happy 4 a.m. Saturday morning, watching from Australia. Eddie Jones, I want to whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Not in a romantic way, but just to help you get back to sleep. Sleep, Eddie Jones. Sleep. Sleep. You do not need to be up at 4 in the morning in Australia. Put your head on the pillow. Take a deep breath. Say, thank you, God, for the early hour and the warm pillow. I am ready for sleep. Somebody says, life is tough, man. It certainly can be. It certainly can be. I think life is more difficult the more you battle it, or that you expect it not to be difficult. Again, I talked about it the other morning as I was driving in. My internet in my building has been out for a week and a half, and it kind of annoys me. And I went into the office, and it really didn't feel like they were doing a whole heck of a lot to get it fixed. It feels they could get it fixed, but instead, I don't know, somebody sends off an email to somebody else and nobody does anything to get it fixed. It could annoy the crap out of me, and a little bit does. But again, I think the more we accept the little issues we have in life, the cold or the work that we have scheduled or the bill we have to pay or the challenges we face, the more we're okay with everything, the easier life goes. You have an 1,100-mile trip to start. You're in Australia, and you're starting an 1,100-mile trip. Pardon my ignorance, but what is the diameter of Australia? Does anyone know offhand? I'm assuming somebody from Australia would know. How far is it across Australia? It seems it's wider than it is tall, from what I remember of the pictures. Jim Rat says Australia is massive. I don't think it's that massive, Jim Rat. I'm going to guess it's 1,500 miles across. I'm betting you, when you're in the highway, when you're on 25 miles, 100 miles across at Eddie Jones. So if you're going 1,100 miles, I'm assuming nobody lives in the middle of Australia. Is that a fair assumption? I mean, very sparsely populated, I would guess. But I'm assuming you're going to go from one spot on the coast to another spot on the coast, and it'll be 1,100 miles. Narinder said, we're actually a planet floating in space. Australia is the sixth largest country in the world. Huh. Russia is number one. I think Canada is number two. I'm going to say the United States is the third largest country in the world. I don't know that to be true. Now I'm trying to think of other big. China, I'm going to say, is the fourth largest country in the world. I mean, Greenland's not a country. Since you told me Australia is the sixth, the next biggest country in the world I can think of would be Brazil. So I'll say Brazil is the fifth and Australia is the sixth largest country in the world. Can somebody fact check on me? Again, I'm going to go Russia, Canada, United States, China, Brazil, Australia. That's my guess for the six largest countries in the world. And I would have guessed Australia is bigger than the sixth largest. But since you told me Australia is the sixth largest country, that's what I'm going to go for. We're not asking for population. Somebody said China and India have almost half the population of the world. Do you know India is the most populous country in the world? It passed China. It is Brazil. Did I get the order right? Is it Russia, Canada, United States, China, Brazil, Australia? I'm pretty proud if I had got that right. USA is a very young country. Amazing how much it's grown and accomplished in the short time frame. Wow! I got the six largest countries in the world geographically by size in order, correct? I wouldn't have had that had you not given me Australia as the sixth. I would have put Australia bigger than Brazil for sure, and perhaps bigger than China, but I don't know. Okay. Oh. Well, now I don't feel as good. I'm not sure I'm right about all six countries. I'm pretty sure Russia's the biggest and Canada's number two, which makes me think United States because they got Alaska. That helps a lot. Hello, Ben, my friend. How are you? Russia, Canada, China, USA, Brazil, Australia. Schlevel, now I'm mad at you. I thought I was so cool, but I had China and the USA backwards. I wonder if Schlevel knows anything other than marketing. She's an accountant. I wonder if she's just making that up to frustrate me. Schlevel says it's Russia, Canada, China, USA, Brazil, and Australia. So I had China and the USA backwards. I'm not shocked, but I am a little disappointed. And I'm mad at you, Schlevel. You could have, if you were going to fact check me, you could have at least lied and had me be correct. I'm glad I know. Do you know Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world? Or maybe fifth? Goes India, China, US, Pakistan, Indonesia, I believe. Jim Rat's bringing up a very political conversation. France is the 7th largest if you include their overseas territories. Who would be the 7th largest if you didn't? Again, I don't know, but I wouldn't be shocked if some country like Sudan, and I don't even offhand know how big Sudan is, but I'm feeling there's a country in Africa that's probably pretty big and has like 6 people living in it, that is probably pretty large geographically as well. Good morning from Israel, Ann Bedard. How are you? How are you? We have a glorious audience. Jim Rat, it'd be hard to not describe this as a glorious audience. Because it truly is. We've got 38 people watching. I bet you we could get more thumbs up if some of you kind folk that are so greatly enjoying my content would double tap the screen a little bit. It would probably push my audience out to a vaster audience and grow my page. Again, I think because I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going, well, I've already gotten to the top of the mountain. And what I really realized is 10,000 subscribers is barely a base camp. And most of the climbing is yet to come. And I'm wondering if I have the energy to keep climbing up the mountain, or if I've hit, well, 10,000 subscribers is pretty good. I might as well just chill out and not worry about subscribers anymore. Oh, Susan, I am grateful for my 10,000 subscribers. Am I Joe Rogan's brother? No, I'm not. Oh, I'm not. Didn't seem to work. That didn't seem to work. There, it'll work. There we go. There we go. Do we have time for more coffee? It's 9:30 in the morning. I probably have time for one more cup. And I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get massive and huge. I'm going to get massive and huge at the gym. Jim Rat, it's the first time I haven't even gone. But with Thanksgiving, my cold, and my work schedule over the last week and a half, I haven't been to the gym in a week and a half. I'm a little scared. I might not be able to lift the tractor or the tractor tire or flip it. Or if I opt for the weight room, if I'll be able to bench anything. My right knee's really sore. All right, we got more coffee. We got more coffee. Somebody, I think, asked, what kind of candle is this? It's a balsam forest candle. Put a little turmeric in that coffee. India's the first most populated, I know. Oh, you guys are arguing amongst yourselves. No, India passed China recently. They both have like 1.4 billion. Somebody said the stock market being near record high makes no sense. What if economically, well, that's interesting. I don't know that we want to talk about that, but we could. And what if the stock market being at a record high really doesn't say anything in terms of economic well-being for the country? But I've always been taught it was a leading economic indicator. But I think it causes a greater disparity because Guys like Larry Ellison own half of Oracle Systems. So when a company like that goes up fivefold in value, he becomes a 300 billionaire. And like a guy like me who doesn't own a share of Oracle Systems or any other stock for that matter, doesn't get any wealthier at all. But most of that economic divide is really just on paper, if that makes sense. What the news loves to do is on one of our few down days, say the market pulls back in the next month or something by 10%, and maybe Facebook or Meta will go down by 15%. They'll love to broadcast how Mark Zuckerberg lost $90 billion in the last month and a half, as if that $90 billion means anything to him, you know? But it does for 60% of the people that invest. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not sure. Can I give you a hug? I would if you were here. Sandra says, what goes up must, or Susan says, what goes up must come down. You know, I think there's value to certain things. And I think Oracle Systems or Meta have value and employ thousands and thousands of people and have earnings and make money and are worth something. I'm not sure that applies to like things like Bitcoin that may have absolutely no value whatsoever. Sandra says, the show me state. You mean Missouri? Missouri might be a decent state to live. I bet Iowa's probably pretty decent. I kind of like Midwest. I don't know why I spent most of my life in Illinois. It doesn't feel that drastic. It does feel actually fairly different in Wisconsin than it did in Illinois. It's a very, like as Schliebel said, what did she say? Just the right combination of busy and boring. Am I a secret millionaire? Many times over. It's so secretive, I don't even know about it. Nor does my accountant, nor does my banker. Which reminds me, one of the things I need to do today is pay my rent. Note to self, work out, driver's license, pay rent. Go to work. That's 4 things. I think I can do that. When you break it down, and what I need to do, you are so surprised I have no stocks, being an ex-stockbroker and with all my knowledge. Well, Peter Bean, I might have a lot of knowledge, but I got no money. I'm telling you, financially, you can get bit in the ass. And as a stockbroker, kind of like we're saying, what goes up must come down. I used to have a lot of money and I made a lot of money, but it was just kind of, and when I was 25 and making a stupid amount of money, I just thought I'd make money forever. This isn't a woe is me. I don't need the money really. I mean, a little more would be better. I'd like to have the day off today. But it's okay. I don't mind working. Feels good. But yeah, I don't have any investments in any stocks. Again, I pissed most of my money away. And again, a lot of it was silly money. Maybe it's because I was a stockbroker that I have no stocks. No, no. I mean, I didn't like stockbroker. You guys have seen Wolf of Wall Street, I'm sure. It was very similar to that. It was just a sleazy operation where we moved money around for clients to generate commissions. It was sleazy. Yeah. I wonder if people still use like dividend reinvestment programs. I got a buddy that's pretty conservative financially and has done quite well over his life, but he'd always buy like Exxon and in a dividend reinvestment program. Honestly, I don't even know if they still exist. And what that means is the dividends he'd get, a lot of companies pay what's called a dividend, where they'll send you out a check. Could be very small. It could be sometimes upwards of 5-6%. But if you set up as a dividend reinvestment program, you end up buying more shares of the stock with those proceeds. And he seemed to do pretty well. Good morning, Timothy. How are you today? Okay, they still do have dividend reinvestment programs. What's funny is for today's society, I just think they'd get bored. With today's society, I think people would get bored in this Bitcoin meta AI world. I wonder how many people invest in stocks for dividends. I mean, I never did really. I always liked growth stocks because I always wanted to probably get rich quick. Easy come, easy go. Oh, this has been a glorious enough show that we should have 50 thumbs up. So anybody that's watching that hasn't double tapped the screen, please do. It really means a lot to me to get to 50 thumbs up. I mean, it doesn't really, but it's kind of fun to say. We're at 49. Somebody out there, come on. Kurt Cobain, if you're still out there watching, even though I muted you, why don't you stop spamming my page and use that energy to double tap the screen? There you go. Thank you, Kurt Cobain. I'm going to give that one to you because you're out there watching going, schnabba frabba laba. Ken put me on mute today, this time for 10 minutes. That's frustrating as heck. That is frustrating as heck. Well, thank you, A-Bombs. You just realized I made it to 10,000 subscribers. I did. But it was almost one of those, yay. Because like to get to 10,000 was like the whole journey from my first subscriber to 10,000. The next would be like 100,000, hitting 20,000 or 11,000 or 50,000. Those don't seem like similar goals, but like hitting 100,000 seems like my next goal. And I'm going, holy crap, that sounds like far off. But again, you shouldn't look too far ahead. Did I ever consider losing 40 pounds? No, I'd be sickly and skinny. I'd weigh like 175. I'd be unhealthy at that weight. I could probably lose 10 and feel really good. Yeah. Do I remember you? No. I do not remember you. I do not remember you. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Again, we got a glorious audience today with 50 people watching and 51 thumbs up. It's getting close to 10 o'clock. What I should probably do is sign off with you fine folk today. get in my workout clothes, head to the gym, get my workout done, because that would feel really good to get that done. Again, I haven't worked out in a week and a half. I've been kind of sick and feeling unhealthy and eating whatever. Feel good to get those feelings back in my muscles and my body of a job well done. And I'm looking forward to doing a job well done today, and hopefully getting some things done and getting my workout in, FaceTiming my little ones, and paying my rent, and maybe getting my Wisconsin driver's license, and then going to work this afternoon. You know what that adds up to? A glorious day. Just a glorious day. Somebody's new around here. Well, please subscribe to my channel and tune in tomorrow. I go live every morning and I talk about all sorts of stuff. I talk about life. I talk about coffee. I talk about working out, being divorced, mental health, sobriety. Do I like basketball? College basketball. I'm an Illinois fan. I'm not going to rehash what I do for a living. I've already talked about that today. You can subscribe to my channel and maybe find out tomorrow. Won't that be fun? Oh, yes, it will be fun. Oh, yes, it will be fun. It will be so fun. It looks like we got a whole bunch of new people hopping on. Oh, well, that's so nice of you, someone else, to say that. That is so nice of you to say that. Where did I work as a stockbroker? Well, I was a trainee at Lehman Brothers in like 1989 and 90 and 91. I went out on my own at some small company. I also worked at Oppenheimer and Bear Stearns and Gruntle. And after that career was done, I went back into the business and actually worked as an investment rep for Chase Bank for a while in like 2004 or something like that. But that was a hellish job. I hated being in the bank environment. It was so sleepy. I didn't like doing that at all. Yeah. I'm not going to eat garlic and ginger. Does having 2 divorces put me off marriage? Well, it's put me off dating. I think I'm fairly content right now. And not desperate to date, which feels kind of nice. Oh, that's good. Let's see. Good morning, Randy. The coffee is glorious today. I see what you guys are doing. I see what you guys are doing. You're keeping me on. You're tricking me to talk a little more. Would I have more kids? I'd never say never. I mean, I don't have any great desire to have more kids, but I sure love kids. Somebody says, nice view of the garbage cans. Midnight Squirrel must be an amazingly negative human being. Again, it's so strange. The longer you do this show, you see people see in the world what they want to see. And what Midnight Squirrel wants to see when he looks out my window is garbage cans. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, it is Friday morning. It is Friday morning. And I'm honestly looking forward to getting to the gym again. It's been a week and a half and I haven't been there. I want to see how I feel. I want to see how I feel when I'm done with my workout. All I really got to do is put on a coat, change into some sweatpants, and head out the door. So I want to thank you so much for joining today, and hope that you've had a great week. Hope you had a great night's sleep. Hope you're enjoying your coffee or your tea or your day or your afternoon or your evening or your morning, whatever time zone you are in. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.